All right, guys, this is how my natural client Joey lost 30 pounds, got absolutely shredded, single digit body fat, working as a high level sales executive, working long hours 10, 12, sometimes even 13, 14 hours. As you remember from my last video, it was another client of mine whose name was Gavin. He was a blue collar worker, also working 10, 12, 13, 14, 15-hour shifts. Most of the guys I work with are high level, high performing men, whether it's sales, business, blue collar. 90% of the guys I work with are short on time. They have solid work ethics, but they just struggle to structure everything they need to do in a day. That's where I come in because, I come from a blue collar background for 10 years, never let it stop me from competing in bodybuilding twice, qualifying for nationals, always staying in shape, and on top of that, now building a coaching business so I can help guys like this get in shape. So I'm going to break this completely down for exactly how he did this and what he actually gained from this. So, when Joey first came to me, he wanted to get lean. He wanted to have a six-pack. He wanted to have that hard, lean, defined look, which we achieved. Now, the things he was struggling with, the key problems he had when we first got started is he didn't have the knowledge, he had little to no structure, no understanding of macros or nutrition, and random training 1 to 2 times a week. Most people don't understand that getting to this level of body fat, it's very difficult, especially as a natural guy. And you really need to be on point in every aspect of everything you do, especially your nutrition. When it comes to getting lean, nutrition is the biggest lever you can pull to actually getting rid of that unwanted body fat and exposing all this detail underneath. Yes, training and cardio and supplementation are also important, but nutrition is king no matter what your goals are. Because the difference between putting on a lot of muscle and getting shredded, losing body fat, training, cardio, all that stuff, the main difference between those two different goals is what you actually do with your nutrition. If you go to the gym and you lift heavy in a calorie surplus, more of a lean bulk diet, you're going to build muscle. If you do the exact same workouts, but in a cut trying to get lean, you're going to get lean. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that changes from you putting on muscle and bulking to you getting lean and shredded is the diet. Training is training, cardio is cardio. So those were the problems he had, but as you can see, we worked through these problems. He got shredded as fuck, single digit body fat, looks absolutely fucking awesome. So I'm going to break everything down for exactly how we did that. All right, so this is what Joey first looked like when he came to me. Doesn't look horrible. You can tell he goes to the gym. You can see he's got a little bit of muscle mass. But, he's soft, he's bloated, he's full of water. You can tell his metabolism isn't that good. You can tell his insulin sensitivity is that good. He's bloated, he's watery, and he's soft. This is where most people start because, yes, they're going to the gym, but they aren't necessarily doing the correct workouts. Their nutrition is all over the place. It has no structure. They don't know how many calories they should even be eating. They don't know how many macros they should be eating. So pretty much they're just going to the gym, putting in work, and pretty much winging everything else. So when we first got started, he was 171 pounds, 24% body fat. He was not weighing any of his food or tracking his macros. He did not know how much he should eat. He did not know what macros even were. He didn't know what calories he should eat. He had no knowledge when it comes to nutrition. He was eating 1 to 2 random meals a day, sometimes even 3. Hit or miss depending on, what he would get at the gas station or Chipotle or shit like that. He had no structure. Also, again, with his training, no structure at all. 1 to 2 random training sessions per week and no cardio. So as you can tell, this is not a good system, especially if you want to get lean, six-pack, single-digit body fat. You need to be way more on point than this. But most people don't have the knowledge and they don't understand what it actually takes to get shredded. So this is where he started. So this is the baseline we had him on. So for his training, we got him started at 4 consistent training days per week. So we were doing chest and shoulders, back, arms, and legs. And we were also doing 20 minutes of cardio 6 days a week. This is a great baseline for anyone to get started. I always recommend at least 3 to 4 days a week. 4 is pretty optimal, but if you're super busy, 3 days is good, push-pull legs. But The 4 days is perfect. You hit every muscle group. You have optimal rest in between. And the sessions are usually between 45 to 60 minutes. Along with the cardio, cardio is great whether you're trying to get lean or you're trying to bulk. It's great for your heart health, for your metabolism, your insulin sensitivity, just overall helps with your bodily function. So we were doing cardio 20 minutes, 6 days a week. Incline treadmill, 3.5 miles an hour at 5% grade, or the Stairmaster. Guys, cardio is not just walking. Steps is not cardio. Cardio is cardio. You need to get your heart rate between 120 to 150 beats per minute to actually be burning calories, burning fat, to ensure you actually do get rid of that excess fat, water, inflammation, all that shit. So, that was his baseline training. This was his baseline diet. This is the maintenance calories for his height, his weight, his age, and his activity levels. So we started him at 2,200 calories, 170 grams of protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, 220 grams of carbs, 70 grams of fat, broken into 4 meals. So 4 training days, 4 meals, 2,200 calories. Now, when you're working with someone, or if you're starting at zero, you don't have, your baseline nutrition and your baseline training, the easiest thing you could do is start everyone at maintenance for their current height and weight. 9 times out of 10, someone who's been all over the place doesn't even know how much they should be eating or what they should be eating. When you get them on their maintenance calories with high protein, structured macronutrients, they will almost guaranteed immediately start dropping weight almost effortlessly with maintenance calories and going to the gym and doing cardio. Why? Because now you're actually feeding their body what it actually needs to perform, to burn fat, to speed up their metabolism, to partition those nutrients, to help increase the insulin sensitivity. Now, I know you're going to say, well, he's at maintenance, so how is he losing weight at maintenance? Because even though he's eating at maintenance, he's training, heavy, intense, progressive overload training sessions 4 days a week, 20 minutes of cardio 6 days a week. So even though he's eating at maintenance, he's burning enough calories to essentially be in a deficit overall for the week. He's not eating in a deficit, he's eating at maintenance. But because of his training and his cardio, by the end of the week, he will have burned more calories than he has eaten. That's why it's so easy when you first get started. It's almost effortlessly to lose weight because you give your body the nutrients that it actually needs to start burning fat, getting rid of all that bullshit inside of you, clearing out the toxins, flushing everything out, your kidneys, your liver, all that good stuff. So maintenance is perfect. Same with 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Even if you're trying to get lean, like shredded, contest prep, bodybuilding, you never want to go below 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is going to keep you full. This is going to keep your recovery optimal. And it's going to ensure that, you continue to keep your muscle and gain muscle in the process. Everyone's going to say, you can't gain muscle in a calorie deficit. You're fucking retarded. Yes, you can. You don't know what you're talking about. As long as you're eating enough protein and you're hitting the weights hard, you will continue to keep your muscle and you will continue to gain your muscle. Sorry, this shit ain't scrolling over. There we go. My computer's being extremely slow right now. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get over to the vitamins and minerals over here. All right, so we had the baseline training. We have the baseline diet. Now, baseline vitamins, minerals, and supplements. So, there's vitamins and minerals. We're doing vitamin D and K2, vitamin C, vitamin B12, boron citrate, fish oil, zinc, and CoQ10. Now, I am huge on all of these because what these things will do will help your body function as well as it should on a cellular level. So, especially because he's natural, we want to make sure all his bodily functions are doing as well as they possibly can, and we want to be supporting them with the proper vitamins and minerals. All these things listed here, they're going to help with your joints, they're going to help you with your recovery, fat burning, free testosterone, mental clarity, energy. These are going to help your immune system, your central nervous system. These are just the basics to keep your body healthy and functioning at an optimal level. Most people are lacking in these nutrients because they aren't getting them from their diet. But even if you are getting them from your diet, it doesn't hurt to supplement them and get even more so you can actually perform better, feel better, have more energy, and things like that. Now, he was using whey protein, he was using a fiber supplement, and he was using a liver detox. Fiber is huge for, helping clear out, your intestinal tract, get all those toxins and shit out of your body. Fiber is good for binding all those foods together so you don't have gut issues and things like that. Liver support, another big one, whether you're natural or not, especially if you're having a high protein diet, you eat a lot, you want to build muscle, you want to have a liver support. Your liver is responsible for flushing all those toxins and getting all the bullshit out of your body. So you want to do everything you can to actually support your liver and the liver function so you can get all those toxins and bullshit out of your body so you're actually performing at an optimal level. So liver support I'm huge on liver support, whether you're natural or you're on cycle. But again, that was his baseline training, his baseline diet, baseline vitamins, minerals, and supplements. Another thing that stayed the same throughout this whole process is the vitamins, minerals, and supplements. We always kept those in. Whether we're cutting, bulking, it doesn't fucking matter. Even if you don't go to the gym, you just want to be a healthy person, you realistically should be having those vitamins and minerals. So, this is what he looked like 3 months in. As you can tell, he's fucking shredded. That's single-digit body fat, around 9% body fat. He went from 171 pounds to 140 pounds. So we literally stripped his body of 31 pounds of fat. And as you can see by these pictures, he's not looking small, he's not looking depleted, soft, he's hard, he's full, he has all his muscle mass. Again, that's why I'm huge on keeping the protein high, keeping the training heavy, progressive overload, even if you're in a massive deficit, because this is the result. He looks fucking phenomenal. He kept every bit of muscle. He might have even gained a little bit of muscle in the process, which is more than possible. So 3 months into the cut, he went from 170 pounds to 140. He went from 24% body fat to 9% body fat. He was weighing every meal and tracking all his macros, 4 whole food meals per day, 4 progressive overload training sessions per week, and by the end of this cut, we had increased his cardio to 40 minutes, 6 days a week. Now, we doubled his cardio, yes, because we needed to create a bigger deficit so he could burn more fat and burn more calories. You need to do this periodically. You shouldn't just jump your cardio, double your cardio overnight. It should be increased in 5 to 10 minute increments every week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, depending on your progress. It's going to be different for everyone. So you need to pretty much pay attention to how your body is responding to see what you need. If you're not losing weight fast enough, if you're not burning fat fast enough, maybe you need to be a little more aggressive when increasing your cardio. His body was responding very well, so about every other week we were increasing his cardio by 5 minutes. Same thing with his calories. So when we first started, let me get down here to the calories in the second half of the cut. Now, sorry guys, my computer is so fucking slow today. Now, his diet at the end of the cut was 1,500 calories, 170 grams of protein, which stayed the same, 75 grams of carbs, 55 grams of fat, still having 4 meals, and he was having 1 cheat meal per week on Sundays. So, over the course of 3 months, calorie-wise, we went from 2,200 calories to 1,500 calories. Protein stayed the same. We went from 220 grams of carbs a day to 75 grams of carbs a day. We went from 70 grams of fat to 55 grams of fat, kept the 4 meals the same, had a cheat meal on the weekend. So, as we decreased his calories, so now he's in a 700 calorie deficit, we doubled his cardio from 20 minutes to 40 minutes on top of his 4 training sessions per week. This is a very big deficit. We had a much bigger deficit at the end because to get, single digit body fat, especially as a natural guy, that is not an easy task. It's not easy at all. You need to suffer a little bit. There's really no way around that. You need to suffer. Now, same thing as I said, you can't go crazy with the cardio. You can't go crazy with making a massive calorie deficit in 1 or 2 weeks, because if you take away too much too fast, you're not going to have more to take away from, and you're going to plateau, and your body is going to stop responding. So that 700 calorie deficit, that came over the course of 12 weeks. We didn't just drop calories by 700 overnight, crashes metabolism, crashes insulin sensitivity in his hormones. It was periodically over 12 weeks. So every other week, we were decreasing his calories by about 200. As we were decreasing his calories by about 200, we were increasing his cardio by 5 minutes. So we're increasing his output, decreasing his input over the course of 12 weeks. Kept the protein high the entire time, which allowed him to recover, keep his strength, keep his fullness, maybe even put on a little bit of extra muscle in that process. The main thing I'm trying to get is it needs to be strategic. It needs to be structured and it needs to be strategic. You can't just start, okay, I'm at 2,200 calories and then randomly, I'm just going to drop 700 fucking calories. Are you going to get a response from that? Yeah, you're going to get a response from that for like a week, and then you're going to hit a plateau because your body still needs to change and you're not going to have enough room to change it because you already went into a massive deficit. The longer you prolong the deficit, the easier it and prolonged it's going to be, the better your results are going to get because you're making small structured changes every other week, and every time you do that, your body's like, oh, okay, cool. Less food, more cardio, burn more fat. Less food, more cardio, burn more fat. Rather than, holy shit, bro, we're dropped 700 calories today. Your body spazzes, literally has no idea what's going on, and you can't sustain it because that's unrealistic. It needs to be structured and periodic over the course of a certain amount of time, which for us, it was 12 weeks. Then, like I said already, these changes were slowly implemented over the course of 12 weeks, which was decreasing calories, increasing cardio, dropping the carbohydrates, dropping the fat a little bit. Now, at week 8, he was already making great progress. We wanted to take it to the next level. He wanted to get fucking shredded. We added in Yohimbine and retatrutide, 1 milligram per week. And I know everyone's, you said this was a natural transformation. Peptides, GLP-1s, if you're going to say, oh, you cheated, that's not natural, get the fuck off the video. I don't want to hear it. I really fucking don't. He was already locked in for 8 weeks, consistent, making progress. We wanted to take it to the next level. We only added in 1 milligram of retatrutide, broken into 0.5 milligram injections Tuesday and Thursday. You got motherfuckers out here doing 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 milligrams of retatrutide a week, and they do not look as good as Joey. Because people think they can just fucking take retatrutide or steroids or another peptide, fuck off, not put in the work, and get the results. That's not how this shit works. I make all my clients earn the right to do that. He was making great progress. He didn't miss a meal. He didn't miss a lift. So we took it to the next level with the retatrutide. The harder you're working, the more on point you are, the more you will get out of using a compound. Which is why he got so much out of using 1 milligram of retatrutide when most people use 3, 4, 5 times as much as that and don't fucking look as good as him or don't get anywhere near the fucking results as him. So don't let me hear shit about retatrutide. He was killing it. We added in retatrutide right at the end just to take it to that next level. If you got a problem with that, get the fuck off the video because I really don't want to hear it. So, this was the result after the 12 weeks of everything I just stated. So, beginning of the 12 weeks, he was 171 pounds, 24% body fat. The end of it, 140 pounds, 9% body fat, way better insulin sensitivity, improved nutrient partitioning, and faster metabolism. Now, when you get lean like this, when you go through a hard cut like this sets you up fucking perfectly to go into a reverse diet and a lean bulk because, one, you're in a depleted state. You lost weight. You have low body fat. Basically, your body has become like a sponge. Your body is craving carbohydrates, calories, and more nutrients because you've basically been depriving your body of these nutrients for the last 12 weeks. Now, in this state, your insulin sensitivity is better. Most people don't know what insulin sensitivity is. When you're resistant to insulin, your body uses insulin, takes all the nutrients that you have from food, calories, carbs, whatever, starts to store them as fat. That's when you're resistant to insulin. When you're insulin sensitive, insulin actually does what it's supposed to do. The insulin takes all those nutrients, carbohydrates, calories, and actually puts them right into the muscle for fuel in the form of glycogen. So that's why insulin sensitivity is huge, especially for a natural guy. Same thing with improved nutrient partitioning. That goes hand in hand with insulin sensitivity. the nutrient partitioning into your muscles as glycogen is going to be way better because your metabolism is better, your heart functions better, literally everything is better, and your metabolism is faster. You're able to burn fat better, you're able to utilize calories and everything better because you just went through this whole entire depletion state, depleted your body of fat, depleted your body of nutrients. Now your body is basically fiending for these nutrients. So this set us up perfectly to go into a growth phase or a lean bulk, and that's exactly what we did. So we did a 12-week cut. Fuck, I hope that doesn't open. Alright, like I said, after the cut, this low of body fat makes it way easier to grow and for your body to utilize those nutrients and insulin. So, what the hell is going on? What the fuck just happened? Sorry, guys. I don't know why this is being so fucking stupid. All right. So just for reference, that was the cut phase, 171 pounds, 24% body fat. Then 140 pounds, 9% body fat. Then, compared to the next couple months of the growth phase, what the fuck is going on? Sorry, guys. Thank you. Okay. Now, the 170 pounds, 24% body fat was the beginning of the cut. Then, after we went through that cut, got him to 140 pounds, 9% body fat, then we did a lean bulk or a growth phase and got him all the way back up to 170 pounds, the weight that he started, this time with completely different body composition, 12% body fat, and a shit ton of added muscle. Both these side-by-side pictures are 170 pounds. Look how fucking insane that difference is. When your insulin sensitivity is better, your nutrient partitioning is better, and your metabolism is better. He's the exact same weight. One, he looks like a slob. The other one, he looks jacked as all fuck. That's a night and day difference. That looks like a completely different person. And this was over the course of 6 or 7 months. You know what I'm saying? Most of you guys immediately go into a bulk when your body fat is way too high to begin with. That's where you screw yourself because your insulin sensitivity and your metabolism is already cooked. Once you improve these things, look how much easier it is to gain muscle. That looks like a completely different person. Same weight, double the size, half the body fat. And I'm explaining to you exactly how you could do it. Literally anyone can do this. He's completely natural. This is a completely natural transformation. You know what I'm saying? People say you can't do this. You can. You just aren't doing the right things and you aren't doing what works for you. So stop making excuses. This is simple shit, guys. It really is. I'm making this video because I want you to get results like this. Because literally anybody can, but no one really knows how to do it. So, just another comparison side by side. At the end of the cut, 140 pounds, 9% body fat. End of his growth phase, 170 pounds, 12% body fat. So he put on 30 fucking pounds lean. So that's basically almost all muscle tissue. He looks absolutely phenomenal. So, again, with this fucking computer, bro. Sorry, guys. All right. So, the growth phase, nutrition. Now, this was over the course of the next 4 months. Again, like I said, when you're in the cut phase, you can't just decrease calories by 1,000 overnight and expect it to stick. Just like when you go into a growth phase, you can't increase calories by 1,000 overnight and expect to actually gain lean muscle. You're going to cook your metabolism and your insulin sensitivity and destroy all the progress you just made with the cut. When you go into a growth phase, you need to periodically increase your calories, periodically decrease your cardio, but continue to still strength train the same Heavy progressive overload, increasing weight and reps, essentially forcing that growth now because you have all these nutrients. Your body is soaking up these nutrients and using them better. Your recovery is going to be better. Your pump is going to be better. This is going to be a perfect scenario to grow lean muscle. So, we increased calories over the course of the next 12 months from 1,500 to over 3,000 to 3,200. We literally doubled his calories. He continued to stay lean, and he gained 30 pounds. That is the power of insulin sensitivity and metabolism when you know how to actually use them. Protein didn't increase that much. We increased it by 30 grams just for better recovery because we're going to keep this growth phase going. Carbs went from 75 grams to over 400. That's over 3x. And look how good he looks because his body is utilizing these carbohydrates because now he is insulin sensitive. His insulin is taking those carbohydrates, shoving all those nutrients right into the muscle to be used as glycogen and fuel for his workouts. Fat was at 80 grams, not much higher than when we first got started. And then because this is such a big calorie increase, you can only increase calories per meal so much, we added in a fifth meal. So he went from 1,500 calories eating 4 meals to 3,200 calories eating 5 meals. He's still only training 4 days a week. We never changed that. His intensity is higher. His lifts are heavier because he's stronger, because he has more nutrients to actually push through these workouts. And this is where we're at right now. So, again, we did the opposite of what we did in the cut phase. The cut phase, we periodically decreased his calories and increased his cardio. Decreased his input, increased his output. Now we're doing the opposite. We're increasing the input and decreasing the output. We're increasing the calories, decreasing the cardio, which puts him in a calorie surplus. Now, because his macronutrients are structured correctly, his meals are structured correctly, he's eating whole food. He's still doing cardio, not as much. His training volume is very high, very intense. He's burning calories, he's burning fat, he's getting enough nutrients. His body is doing what it's supposed to do as in terms of recovery, as in terms of using those nutrients to fuel his workouts and grow his muscles. All his bodily functions are essentially perfect because we took that initial 12 weeks to clear up his metabolism, insulin sensitivity, get him lean, to set him up to put this growth phase. Now, like I said, we didn't just increase 1,000 calories overnight. We would increase 250 calories every 2 to 3 weeks, drop the cardio back by 5 minutes, as we are forcing him to increase his weights every week or every other week, whether it's increased weight or increased reps. His output continued to go up with his calorie increases. Even though it wasn't directly cardio, he's still burning a lot of calories from those really heavy training sessions. This is all you need to do. Everyone thinks you need to take all this steroids, do all this shit. No. You need to do a properly structured cut, get lean, improve your insulin sensitivity and your metabolism, and then do the opposite. Increase your calories, decrease your cardio, train hard as fuck, train heavy as fuck, and you will gain muscle. If you do exactly what I told you to do in this video, not only will you get lean, improve your metabolism and insulin sensitivity, you will be able to put on a shit ton of muscle. This is what we did in about 7 to 8 months from the beginning. He went from a fatty to a shredded, lean Greek god to now a jacked G. You know what I'm saying? And we did all this while he's working 10 to 12 hours high-level executive sales. You know what I'm saying? Job means nothing. Structure is the most important. It doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter what kind of job you work. It doesn't matter. If this is something you want to do and you can't figure it out on your own because you're short on time, you have a lot of responsibilities, hire a coach. He wouldn't have been able to get here without me. I'm not saying that like in like an egotistical way. It is what it is, and that's why I'm a coach. Because I figured all this shit out on my own when I was a blue-collar worker in the fucking woods, commuting 2 hours to work, and I was like, no, I'm getting in shape and I'm staying in shape. I don't care. You know, I suffered for 4, 5, 6 years figuring all this shit out, putting it into one repeatable system that literally anyone can use. Anyone can do this. So if you have similar goals to Joey and you're struggling and you want guidance, send me a message. You know what I'm saying? My Instagram is @ZachFreedomFirst. I'm going to put my Instagram in the description. I'm also going to put a link to my website. If you just want to apply for coaching, we can talk. Because that's it. It's very simple. Is it easy? Not necessarily easy. You know, it takes work. It takes grit. You're going to have to suffer a little bit, but it's very fucking simple. Most people overcomplicate it. That's why they don't get the results. So, I don't think I missed anything. This was an awesome video, you know. Definitely like, share, follow. Follow me on Instagram on Zach Freedom First. If you got a lot out of this video, leave a comment. Tell me what you like the most. But I'm here to help all you guys. So if you watch this, you're interested, you want to learn more, hit the link in the bio or send me a message on Instagram.